All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Jets and the Houston Texans. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Set. Check. Get it going down. He's coming.
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Throwing again, it's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans.
Hey, keep it up. 49, check 49. 53 to Mike, 53, check 53. Down and go.
3rd and long, it's Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Remember, of course, he threw 5 interceptions in that loss last week. Opening drive, same result here.
But it's hard to believe that you can throw 5 in the previous week and start out your very next game the exact same way. He's going to need a lot of support on his own sideline. Make sure he gets really fully mentally into this one.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Now it's Darnold. He's got the first down here inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well. And
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
At their own 19-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw is Darnold. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They still need 6 yards here on 3rd down after the penalty. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On 2nd and 1, Watson. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
3rd and long, it's Darnold. And that will be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hold the look, hold the look, hold. Open the ball.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Give him 8 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle of the field, doesn't it? Because you got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the 1st.
Alert! 48 Mike. 48 Mike. This way, coming this way. Here we go. 48 for Mike. I'm here all day.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Watson going to throw again. That's caught by Howard. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Texans 14, Jets nothing.
First attack! First six! It's almost! Showing it! Showing it!
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Watson. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
3rd and 4.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. And they give this time to the tailback. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So they've put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me,
Jets offense coming up now to start their next. But
you don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Darnold. And he finds his man Griffin. And he lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now Watson. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Got a man open. It's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And a rout is on here in this first half. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. Le'Veon Bell, it's a foot race. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 39 yards there, a big one. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. He's going to air one out for Anderson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Mike 48, Mike 48. Not today, you are. Not today.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
That first down run could not have turned out worse for a defense because when they came out on the field, their #1 mission, keep them stacked up close to their goal line, and at worst, create great field position for their offense.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
3rd and 2, Watson. Flushed out right. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Jets have recovered.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit and, in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it. I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They have not gained much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Ready? 41's the mic. 41's the mic. You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. Go. Buzz. Be ready.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. From the 50, it's Darnold. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, The defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are, so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
On 2nd and 7, Watson. Quentin Williams, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL.
Mike, 53. 53.
I smell fear in that offense. I smell fear.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Watson going deep for half. He's got a man complete. He's at the 40. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half as his guys continue to pour it on.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw in that.
Defenses, because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Let's go.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
41 the mark. 41 the mark. Check. Here we go.
Now Hundley. Going up top. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there just before halftime. 51 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Watch the slant.
Mike 41.
I got you, son. Lady. 41. Smooth. Right here. 41 Mike. Let's go.
Back to throw, Darnold. Eluding the pressure right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. And the 13-year man puts it through And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. The final shot before the break, Watson. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. For the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Here's Darnold. And he comes back with one complete. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Darnold on 3rd down. Found his target. It's Anderson.
Got you, boy.
And now running right through it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 47.
Young lady. Hey, check Mike 21. Mike 21. Check Mike 21. Hey, man. Watch the boot. Watch the boot.
Darnold to throw again. And that'll be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Whip. Watch the whip. Check.
And with the play clock at 5, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Boy, and now they can't even get a playoff. Second and 10.
Check pass.
To the air again, Darnold. Open man is Robbie Anderson. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 21. Darnold now 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. Again, Darnold. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done. Down to the 15 from the 21. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's second and 4. Throwing again is Darnold. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Hey, exit.
Now Darnold. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line. He's sacked. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But when you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They go play action here on first down. Dancing to his left. He'll run it. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
So in this case, you think the defense would be collapsing to the left side of the field, and they forced him to his left, so he just tucked it away and picked up some yardage.
And to give this time to the tailback. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. Watson on target here to Fuller. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
We're set. Great team. Come on, D. Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. Hey, 31. 3 down. Delta. 48's the mic. Check. Line him up.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And that is incomplete.
Yeah, they're trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Here's Brian Anger now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Jets will take over first and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Darnold now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. He has just been alone for opposing offenses to account for now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take all the alleys, right? They ran.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big-time play there for the Texans. 45 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Sure didn't take this offense long to get within striking distance of the end zone. 2 plays.
Feel the energy? You can just feel it, can't you? Because they are creating it on offense. The way they're running the football. Now they've swept into the red zone. Momentum.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller. He scored on the ground and through the air as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Darnold. And a quick throw here. That's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Back now in Houston, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. Going down the middle, and it's complete. 25 yards that time. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory? How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Texans scoop it. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
19. Check.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Check 50. Check 50.
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. 10 yards is the pickup. Good enough for a Jet first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Darnold finding Anderson here.
Darnold's pass complete to Robbie Anderson.
Let's go, D.
First down, New York.
4 down. Check.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
Hey, watch the leg.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
41's coming. 41's the mic.
It's going to be a long day.
Now it's Darnold. Into the hands of his receiver, Anderson. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 29-yard line. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
On first down, Bell. Anthony Harris on the tackle.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Again, it's Bell. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And Crosby puts it through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go! The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Jets, the difficult season continues as they drop